Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be wanting what you can't have. Obviously, that's not usually a good situation. Well, I've got 5 different emails I'm going to go through with you today. And before we get into the first one, I got a quote that I wrote that I'd like to share with you. It says, human beings tend to want what they can have and value what they have to work for. If you see life as a struggle and feel as if nothing ever seems to work out for you, or that things won't continue to work out for you long term, this can cause you to focus on and become trapped in situations or fixated on people who do not want you back. It then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You feel you don't deserve what you want and therefore become emotionally fixated on people who don't feel the same way as you do. The true way to an effortless life is to have faith that by continuing to search and seek, you eventually will find people and circumstances that want you to stick around and love you back unconditionally. It reminds me, there's a good quote that I really love. It's by St. Augustine, and it says, faith is believing in what you do not yet see. The reward for this faith is to see what you believed. So let's get into this first guy's email. He says, hey coach, holy shitballs, all I can say is I have been the biggest pussy in the world. Well, alright, at least you're admitting it. And it took my last girlfriend of 2 months to realize I did every goddamn thing wrong that you mentioned in your book. Your material has been an eye-opener and a revelation. Thinking that all these years I deserved to be with a woman because I was a sappy little bitch. I'm a fireman and I'm training to be an amateur MMA fighter and a chef. Somewhere in my delusional mind, I thought these things would attract women. Yeah, you see it in movies all the time, but obviously shit doesn't work in real life, and you came to that realization, and you said, something just ain't fucking right here. It's kind of like what Deion Sanders says, they ain't right, man, they ain't right. He says, holy shit, I was wrong. You rock, brother. You opened a whole new world of opportunities for me, and I'm a much better person for it. But I'm still a young Jedi in training over here. Well, I'll call you Padawan then. He says, anyways, to get to the point, there is this one bartender that I have been fancying for quite a while. She's 10 years older than me, and I'm 36, and I know she is into me. The problem is she is dating someone. It's a bad way to go to get hung up on a chick that's got a boyfriend. Because it's like, this is like I was talking about in the quote. You get fixated on someone that's not available and she's what you really want. And what this does is, obviously you said you've been fancying her for a while, so it's probably gone on for several months. You know, I'll give you an example. I was talking to a client yesterday I was doing a phone session with, and this guy met this girl 6 months ago that he sees all the time and he interacts with her. And he basically has been acting like her gay male girlfriend for the past 6 months, or her therapist. And he asked her out one time before, and she gave him basically a BS kind of an answer as to why she couldn't, or oh, not yet, or not now, or something to that effect. And he stayed totally fixated on her, even though it wasn't going anywhere. And so fast forward, I mean, here he is, 6 months later, and what he perceived as being her mutual attraction to him, I mean, there was nothing. Everything we went over, I was like, I'm not seeing it, dude. It doesn't sound like there's anything that she feels physically towards you. He was, in essence, projecting his fantasy onto this girl. And then he had recently had asked her out again, and she gave him another BS answer and said, I just want to be friends, but it's like it just didn't register. So keep in mind, this guy spent 6 months being hung up on a girl who really had zero interest in him. And so he agreed to go along with just being a friend and hanging out, and whenever she called, all hours of the day and night, he dropped what he's doing to respond to her, because obviously he's seen that in a lot of movies. You got to be the nice friend, the nice guy, and that'll get you somewhere, which obviously he doesn't in real life. But it's like 6 months of his life, and he's never going to get that back. And at the end of the day, the amount of days that you have been on this planet is getting longer, but the amount of days you have left is getting shorter. And you can waste it. I mean, like when I was in my 20s, it's like I did this a lot. I had times where I would waste 1.5 years, 2 years being hung up on girls like that and getting fucking nowhere with them. And when you do that, you totally cut yourself off from every other possibility that exists out there. He says, you probably just want to reach into the screen and slap the living shit out of me, and I agree. Well, I'd say maybe you should just take your right hand, reach out, and choke yourself. He says, I will just slap myself. Okay, well, that'll work too. He says, I have no problems meeting women. I do have an abundant surplus from which to choose, but I still have these feelings in the back of my mind that getting with this girl is what I really want. I mean, like right now, presently, there's 2 women that I know who both have boyfriends that I see all the fucking time. And these girls are just physically exactly what I think is female perfection. And it's hard when, because I see them a couple times a week to not enjoy talking with them and chatting with them. But at the end of the day, they're not available. There's nothing I can do about it. And so the key is, like, when you encounter those situations, it's nice because you can be appreciative to the universe that, wow, thank you for bringing these gorgeous women who are pretty much exactly the type of women that I'm looking for, other than the fact that they're single and available. And so, like, to me, that's evidence that what I want is long in coming. I mean, maybe one of these girls becomes single. That's a possibility. Because I always say, hey, if it doesn't work out, let me know. I think you're amazing. I think you're awesome. Or I'd like to meet up for a drink or something to that effect. And because I see them all the time, it's like, and if they want me to know that they're single and they'd like me to do something about that, I'm like, hey, what's new? Like, oh, I broke up with my boyfriend. I was like, oh, really? How convenient. When are you free to get together for a drink? I mean, that's all you got to do. But the key is to keep circulating. Be grateful and appreciative that you see this girl and that she's the type of woman that you like, and it's okay letting her know that, but hey, she's taken. The worst thing you could do is think, oh, I'm going to talk her out of being with her boyfriend or get her to leave her boyfriend for me. And what if she cheats on you or cheats on him with you? Well, guess what? If you ever become lazy and complacent like her boyfriend, that's what she'll do to you. So you just don't want to get in those kinds of situations because you can waste a tremendous amount of your time. Because what happens 6 months from now, or a year from now, this goes on, or 2 years, and you find out she's engaged to the guy or she gets married to him. Then where are you? Then you wasted even more of your time, and then you're going to really be smacking yourself in the face for doing something stupid like that. He says it's almost like the challenge of just getting this girl, even though I know it may be wrong. You should trust that. That inner voice is going, this ain't right. That ain't right, man. You need to listen to that. He says we flirt endlessly, which is probably wrong, and knowing she would do that with me while she is with some dude only reinforces the idea she will do it if I ever become complacent. There you have it, bro. Pay attention to that. He says, I guess my question is, how the fuck do you get this chick out of your mind? It's like sometimes you get tortured like that. Like I said, I got 2 women that would just fucking, they're just perfect. One of them's a former gymnast. It's like, can you imagine? Have you ever seen a former gymnast body? It's like, you ever seen an Olympic gymnast? It's like, holy fuck, dude. Talk about perfect. I gotta see this all the time. With their skimpy outfits, it's like, oh man, her nice fucking tan. It's like, Jesus Christ. But that's the way it is. You can appreciate the beauty when you encounter it and when you're around them, especially if you have to see them all the time. Or like this place, in this case, she probably works at your favorite watering hole. But I mean, at the end of the day, you got to keep circulating. You got to keep moving. Because there's lots of other possibilities around. He says, I mean, I'm not slitting my wrists over this babe, but I am thinking about her a lot more than I probably should. Well, think of it this way. It's like, you could say to yourself internally, I'm really grateful that this woman's in my life. She's exactly the kind of woman I want, and I would really like it. It'd be really nice, using these as affirmations, it'd be really nice if I could meet somebody just like that, but who's actually single and available and who really digs me. Because that's what you want. And if you keep searching, if you keep thinking that way, and you keep staying open to it, eventually you will meet somebody who is exactly what you want, that's just like her, probably even better. But guess what? She'll be single and available and really excited that you asked her out. He says, I do have a life, and I'm a very busy one, and I'm not sitting at home with a voodoo doll shaped like her boyfriend while pounding away at the box of bonbons. I know you're probably going to say, go out and meet more women. Yep, go out and meet more women. Maybe I just haven't met the right one. You got to look at it as it's not a matter of hope. It's just simply a matter of time. It's like that with anything in life, whether it's building a business or meeting a great girl or getting yourself in shape or getting yourself back to a healthy body or climbing the corporate ladder or building a business and making it successful to the point where you can tell your boss to kiss your ass because it's bringing enough income where you can support yourself on it completely. It takes time, and you gotta practice infinite patience. And the key is to know what you want, to know what your outcome is, and stay focused on it, and not get distracted by women like this who, she's pretty much everything you want, almost. The big difference is obviously she's not single. It's possible that it will change, but the best thing you can do for yourself is to stay fixated on what you really want, which is somebody who you can actually have a relationship with, not some chick that's already got a boyfriend. He says, anyway, this email was long as fuck. That's what she said. I like this guy. He's got a good sense of humor. I just wanted to thank you for opening my eyes. I'm starting to understand these mythical beings and must say it's not all that bad. So let's get the second guy's email. He says, hey, Corey, how's it going? Pretty awesome. Thanks for asking. He says, me and my ex-girlfriend broke up about 2 months ago, and I've known her for about 4 years, and she loves me. She's loved me ever since, and we were best friends. We only dated for a year and a half. I guess so they knew each other for 4 years. And 3 months after I finally started liking her, then fell in love with her, and later on down the road. I did things to hurt her, like arguing about stupid bullshit, but I never stopped caring for her. Well, no amount of you caring for her is going to make her love you. The only thing that can make her love you and get her back is acting in a way that is masculine and manly. He says, after we broke up, I begged for her back for a couple of days, and then she blocked my number because I'm sure she wanted to buy everything I was telling her, but she wouldn't allow it. You're bullshitting yourself a little bit, dude. If she really wanted to buy it, she wouldn't have blocked you from her phone. He says, and I wasn't accepting the breakup. Yeah, it's like you saw what you wanted to see. It's cognitive dissonance. He says, our breakup had a lot to do with her mom being a bitch, getting into our relationship, and me not having money nor a job. Well, masculine energy is all about purpose, drive, mission, succeeding, accomplishing, breaking through barriers. And if you go for like extended periods of time without a job, then yeah, you're basically not focusing on your mission, your purpose in life as a man. He says, I have a job now, and she also told me that blood was thicker than water, and she was not going to date a guy her mom did not like. Funny thing is, my ex-girlfriend got kicked out of her house by her mom and is now staying with her friend. I feel like now she misses me because she puts love songs on Facebook, and sometimes she puts negative things and positive things online. Dude, quit stalking her on Facebook. Come on. He says, good or bad, she still thinks about me. You don't know that. It's like, this is your fantasy. You're projecting your fantasy onto her. But you're ignoring the fact that she ditched you and blocked you from her cell phone. It's like, fucking hello, McFly. He says, I think she's starting to think she made a mistake. Well, it's possible. She still has not contacted me yet, though. Well, obviously, she doesn't think it's that big of a mistake. And she's not regretting it to the point where she wants to reach out to you yet. He says, she told me that she'd always have feelings for me, but she would just not act upon them. That's why the strongest negotiating position is being able to walk away and mean it. She unilaterally changed the terms of your relationship, and the only thing you can do is walk and just say, hey, she knows you want her back, but the best thing you can do is walk and never look back. And if she wants to get in touch with you, she will. She'll come up with a reason. But if she doesn't, then you know it's over for good. He says, how is that possible when you love someone so much? Well, if she really loved you, she'd come back. She'd get in touch with you. She knows how to get a hold of you. He says, I backed off from her since the time we broke up. Begging her did not get me anywhere. I only did it for a week. I sent her a letter basically telling her I have a job and that if she wanted to come back, I'm still here. So you're seeking her approval now. She wants you to have a job because it's what you want to do. It's what you're doing because you want to feel good about yourself as a man. He says, the thing is, I don't know if she read the letter or trashed it. I sent the letter about a week before she was kicked out of her house. Is there any chances of her coming back to me now after everything that has happened to her? Flip a coin. Maybe, maybe not. He says, she thinks things were better after she left me, but they have only been getting worse. Well, you're making assumptions here. Because she has no one in her life now besides her girlfriend that she is living with. Well, obviously that's enough because you haven't heard from her. The best thing you do is move on with your life, start dating, hanging out, having fun, hooking up. And there's a really good chance you're going to meet somebody even better. Because this girl may never come back, and the worst thing you can do is stay fixated on the past. That'll prevent you from moving forward. Because I get emails a lot of times from guys that actually do that, and then 3 or 4 months after they met somebody new, the ex-girlfriend comes back. Sometimes I read some of those in these emails. So think about that. Think about this. Think about if you're dating somebody you really dig and then the ex-girlfriend wants to come back. You're going to be not so fast, sweetheart. So let's get to the third guy's email. He says, "Hey Corey, after living about 6 years in Orlando, Florida, I'm finally back home in the Middle East. I have been here about 2 months now, and it is really frustrating that I can't find the girl that I like. 2 months? Who fucking cares? Maybe it's going to take you 2 years or 5 years. Like, so what? Hang out, have fun, and hook up, dude. It's a matter of time. You got to think of it in that. It's just like the quote I shared earlier with St. Augustine. Faith is believing in what you do not yet see, and the reward for this faith is to see what you believed." It's like once I got that when I was younger, it's like it makes things so much easier. The reason you haven't met the right girl yet, it's just not the time. Just keep moving. It may happen tonight. It may happen tomorrow. It may happen next week. Maybe 2 years from now. So what? Hang out, have fun, and hook up with the girls that you are meeting. He says, "In the last 2 months, I have dated more than 10 girls, but I haven't had any chemistry with any of them. What should I do? Repetition's the mother of skill. Keep practicing. Keep practicing the things that I teach so when you really do meet a girl that knocks your socks off, you don't fuck it up. Because if you're unprepared, it's just like Confucius said. Success depends upon prior preparation. And without said preparation, there is sure to be failure." He says, "Is it natural?" It's like, yeah, sometimes that's the way it is. And what I've learned looking back on my life, because you always have wisdom when you're able to look back, is that it's always when you're really open to it, you're really ready, you're really loving your life, you're enjoying your life, you're having a great time, you're totally content being single, you love being single, you're having an outrageous time just being all by yourself. And then you meet somebody, and she's just as much into you, because again, attraction's not a choice, as you are into her. Hey, let's meet up for a drink. Hey, let's have dinner together, whatever it happens to be. And you go out, and you hang out, you have fun, you hook up. It's easy, it's effortless to be with them. Why? Because they want you. When somebody else wants you mutually, it's so much easier that way than trying to talk a girl into liking you or trying to force chemistry when it's not there. You'll know when you meet a girl you have chemistry with, it'll be fucking easy to be with her. And until you're with a girl, you go out on a date with a girl where it's easy like that, where she's just easy to talk to and easy to be with, keep searching, keep circulating, keep moving. Because if you stop and you get hung up what's not really wanting you back, that's just more frustration and difficulty and challenge. And that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, like in the quote that I shared earlier. He says, "Should I keep on dating till I find the one that I like?" Exactly. Or is there something wrong with my approach? Not at all. Just keep looking. Just stop fucking whining about it. You see that? You hear that? That's the world's smallest violin playing a sad song for you. You know what that is? That's the world's smallest record player playing a sad song for you. Just keep moving. Find a way to grind it out. I know you don't feel like it sometimes and you're frustrated, but you got to become okay. You have to see you're attached to a result right now. That's why you're suffering. You want reality to be other than it is. You want this girl to instantly be in your life. Well, she's not there yet. What can you do about that? Nothing. Just keep circulating. Keep moving. You will find it. He says, "I like the girls that chase me after the first date, and I don't like to call them or text them all the time because in that case it shows their low level of interest in me." Exactly. Now you're paying attention. This is why you need to date these women, because you start to learn this stuff. Repetition's the mother of skill. And when you get to the point where you don't have to think about it anymore, guess what? When you meet a girl and she knocks your socks off and you feel overwhelmed with desire for her, you've been through this process so many times with so many other women, it's easy. You don't have to think about it anymore. Then you're really ready. You got to think of it this way. Each woman that you meet and that you encounter, she's just there to prepare you for that ultimate babe, that ultimate woman that you're really looking for. He says, "That's why I give up on them so quickly in most cases and I won't hear back from them." But that's okay. You want somebody that wants you. That's the only kind of woman you can have an effortless relationship with, is somebody that's making mutual effort. You never want to try to keep somebody who doesn't want to keep you. So let's get into the fourth guy's email. He says, "Hey coach, your stuff is amazing. I've got more women approaching me and straight out asking me out on Facebook and in person than I ever thought possible. I'm dating some of them." Awesome, dude. Good for you. That's why I say all the time, just apply what I teach. Even if you think I'm a total fucking jackass with a shaved head, just do it. If you apply this stuff, you'll see that it works for you. That's the best sales pitch I can give. It's like, try it out. You don't have to buy anything. Just try this shit out. Even for the guys that are cheap and they don't want to spend $10, you can read my fucking book for free on my website. It's like, hello? Who else does that? Nobody. He says, unfortunately, I'm not attracting the type of women that meets the criteria of my list for the perfect woman. That's okay. Repetition's the mother of skill. They're helping, these women that you are meeting, they're helping you become the man that you need to be, so when you do meet that perfect woman, you're ready for her. Because if you don't practice and you meet the perfect woman, I promise you, you will fuck it up. I get emails all the time from guys that do that. They meet the perfect girl and they freeze up because they can't handle it because they're not prepared. Remember what Confucius said earlier. He says, my question is twofold. First, as I suggested, I practice my skills on some women I find initially attractive, but often after a few dates, I realize they are not right for me. That's okay. That's the whole purpose of dating. You know, it's kind of like test driving a car. You want to take it out for a test drive, see if you like it, see if you really want to buy it, or you want to just keep driving other models. It's like you don't buy the car until you find one you really like. He says, I generally just break contact and move on to the next one, but oftentimes these women fall for me so quickly and they get their feelings hurt. That's why you got to be honest with them and just tell them that you're just not interested. He says, how do I let them down easier after up front I tell them I intend to date other women? Just say, I like you. I think you're gorgeous. I think you're awesome. I think you're amazing. But it's just, I don't think we have enough chemistry. But I think you're fucking hot. I think you're sexy as hell. It's just that, you know, I just don't think you're the right girl for me. I mean, be totally, bluntly, brutally honest with them. But if you're open to just being friends with benefits until you meet a guy that you really feel you have chemistry with, I'm down with that. What's the worst they can say? No? Hello? He says, the second part of my question is, I met this girl that is a complete 10, and she has tons of guys chasing her, and I watch as they screw up with her because they don't get it. The 97%ers are striking out. I asked her out, and I got the following response, which confuses me. I need some coaching advice with this girl. Once I get the date, I'm confident she will be mine if I desire that. Slow your roll, dude. You're getting to your little fantasy here. At the end of the day, if she feels the same way, it'll be easy to make a date happen. She'll be excited to make a date happen with you. But if her interest is low, she'll give you all kinds of roadblocks. She'll hesitate. She'll make it difficult for you. He says, I want you to know I have not contacted her since this last exchange other than she gave me her phone number. Please advise, and thanks for making dating and relationships easy to understand. It's truly changed my life. And here's what he says. This is what he says to the girl. He says, it was nice seeing you again this week, and I just want to tell you that I think you're incredibly beautiful. The way you move, your smile, I just can't take my eyes off of you sometimes because I think you're amazing and gorgeous. I would like to meet you for drinks, dinner, or maybe shoot some pool sometime so we can talk. I want to know you as a better person, and believe me when I say I know how freaking lame it is to ask you out on Facebook. It's like, dude, does that sound confident? Does that sound like a guy who feels like he deserves her? No, you're fucking apologizing for asking her out. And I want to know why you didn't say this shit in person and be a man about it instead of being weird and creepy and sending her a message on Facebook. Think about it. You're whining about how the girls you're meeting are not what you want, and then you meet a girl that you like, and then you do this bullshit. I mean, this is totally weak, dude. This is why, what I said a minute ago, all these girls you're meeting are to help you practice, so when you meet a girl that you really like, you don't bitch out, basically, which is you're doing here. He says, I'd much rather look into your eyes and say the same things as I was about to last night, but when I got out of my chair to walk over, you were leaving. Come on, man. Bad timing on my part. That's why a guy with confidence is going to walk up to her and just say, hey, I think you're amazing. You take my breath away. When are you free to meet up for a drink? Say that. That question presupposes that, of course, she wants to meet you for a drink. Now, if she says, I can't, or I'm not interested, or I'm not sure, or send me a Facebook message, then you know. But if she's like, oh, yeah, I'd love to. Great. When are you free to get together? Wednesday? Great. How about Wednesday at 8 o'clock? We meet at the Wild Side Bar on 123 Oak Street. Great, I know that place. That's a great place. Awesome. Let me get your number in case something comes up. Pull out your phone, put her number in there and say, great, I'm going to text you my number. If something comes up, I'll call you. Otherwise, we'll just meet there Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Is that cool? Awesome. You give her a hug, say, I'll look forward to it. I'll see you then. That's all you got to do. He says, I realize now that you might put me into one of those creepy people category that send you weird shit on Facebook. Come on, man. Let me read that again. I realize now that you might put me into one of those creepy people category that send you weird shit on Facebook. That's the vibe you just brought up. So now she's thinking, oh, this guy, yeah, this is a creepy, weird thing. Yeah, you're kind of creepy. Men who have balls would never do this. This is why you need to practice, and this is why you haven't met the right girl yet. He says, at this point, I'm tired of waiting, so I chose the only way I have to get a hold of you. Let's chill out, hang out, and have some laughs. This is her response. I hope you're doing good, and I don't think you're lame for asking me out on Facebook. Translation, I think you're lame and your balls are the size of BBs. That's what she's saying to you. Thank you for saying I'm beautiful and amazing. I'm going to be honest with you. Really? I'm not dating right now. I'm just taking a break from that, LOL. In other words, I'm not dating anybody, but I'd really like to find a guy who's a man and has the balls to say this shit in person to me. I've been hurt a lot in my life. How many times have I read emails or women? I've been hurt a lot in my life. Well, everybody's been hurt. If you date, you've been hurt. And I'm just taking some time for me. But I would love to hang out with you sometime. Dinner would be great. I think you're a great guy. And I thought you might be dating so-and-so. I wasn't sure Friday night. It's always good to see you. Hey, well, maybe it's not so bad. So what she's trying to say is, I'm not looking for a relationship, but she'd be down with hanging out. You may have a live one here, dude. Even though you came off as kind of weak. Remember what I say? Attraction's not a choice. You may have a possibility here. So the only thing you can do back is, what I would say to her is, that sounds great. When are you, just send this. That sounds great. When are you free to meet up? And then send that, let her tell you, and then make definite plans to meet up somewhere. Make sure it's kind of close to where you live. Why? Because if things go well and you're making out in the parking lot or at the restaurant or wherever you happen to go, hey, why don't we go back? Would you like to come up to my place and have a glass of champagne? Sure. That sounds wonderful. Then you just bring her upstairs. So he also shares his response here. So he says, let me start out by saying Friday night was the first time I'd ever spoken to so-and-so in person. She asked me if I was going to so-and-so's, and I said yes. Not a date, very informal. I definitely respect your decision not to date. Come on, man. Don't even bring that up. This is too much. You should have gotten right to the point. Hey, that sounds great. But instead, you're apologizing for your interest once again. He says, I took a long time after my divorce just to center myself again. I think that's a very wise choice on your part. More BS, fucking totally unnecessary. I would love to have dinner with you at so-and-so's when you're free. I'm traveling a lot for work, so it only leaves late Friday evening to Sunday evening available for me. If any of these times work with your schedule, let me know and we can discuss the details. It's too much BS, dude. Get right to the fucking point. Maybe I'll see you this weekend at some other venue. Come on, man. What are you doing? I hope so anyway. Your Highness, please go out with me. Have a great day and just let me know when you're free and I'll take care of the rest. That's all you really needed to say. Just a couple of friends having a nice dinner and a chat. Now you're talking about friendship. It's like, cut that. Take your right hand, reach out and choke yourself, dude. Cut that bullshit out. My cell number is blah, blah, blah if you prefer that method of communication. She responded to this a few days later with a text about staying home on Friday night, blah, blah. And I wrote back shortly after and teased her about don't fall off the couch and hurt yourself. Anyway, I can read body language now, and every time I see her in public, usually in a bar, we both hang out and she's constantly looking at me. I look right back and never break eye contact, and she will usually wave at me. She's bent over right in front of me and tossed her hair. Yeah, because she likes the attention. It's like, dude, get to the fucking point. She say, you look hot. I think you need to come over here and kiss me. You look amazing tonight. He says she gets in my space from time to time, and so I'm reading a high interest level, but she won't commit to the date. That's all you need to know. She knows you like her, and she likes your attention, but the key is she won't make a date. and you're getting all fixated on her and it's not going anywhere. He says, but I only asked this one time. Only on occasion do I approach her first, and I think it confuses her because the rest of the guys are drooling all over her. How do I interpret the preceding written conversation, and what should the next steps be? Currently, I'm not contacting her, waiting her to open the door, so to speak. I'm a busy man. I have my life together. Do I continue to wait? Well, I mean, you've seen her several times since then. I'd ask her out one more time. Next time you see her, hey, let's meet up for drinks. When are you free? And then make a date. But it looks like at this point, you've already, with all this BS minutia here in these texts, like you've kind of beat this one in a hamburger meat and kind of missed your opportunity. So let's get into the final email. This guy says, I'm in a fucked up situation. I was working a lot and my wife felt neglected. The courtship never ends. That means never. He says, then all of a sudden she called off our marriage and I came home from work to find out that she left me with the 2 kids and went to spend 3 nights at her new friend's house, which was not a girl's place. When she came back from there, our marriage is over and she wants a separation and divorce. So if it's not a girl's place, what does that mean? She's hooking up with somebody already? Probably lined up your replacement? He says, I'm like, okay, but we are now living separate in the same house, and we have been going back and forth on things the last 4 weeks with money and with the kids. We do get along when we are communicating. This last weekend, we spent the holiday away from one another. I had the kids, and she was at home by herself. And when I got back, we put the kids to bed and talked, and she's still on the fence about us. We've been through a lot over the past 11 years, and I told her that we can both find new relationships and have the same problems, or we can try to make this one work because we always have what we have, and we have our kids together. That was good. I like that. She's agreed to see a marriage counselor next week with me, but today is still talking about us being separated. That's why you got to say, baby, I love you, and I'm not interested in divorce, and I'm not interested in being separated. But I do know that it takes 2 people to make a marriage work. And as long as you're unwilling to make our marriage work, then it's a moot point. I love you. I want to see you. I want to spend time with you. I want to make things work. But you got to meet me halfway. You got to try. You got to make the effort. And if you're not going to make the effort, then if you want to go ahead and divorce me, then you can go ahead and divorce me. But I ain't going to participate in that bullshit because I love you and I love our kids and I love the family. And I'm willing to do what it takes to make it work. And if you're not willing to do that, then there's really nothing I can do about that. He says, I wish I could leave, but the kids were getting separation anxieties from us working away from home so much. So I'm trying to be around the home more for them, and I know she still cares about me, and she has just shut herself off towards me because I was never there for her emotional needs. So what you need to do is, like when you're having that talk, you just say, look, I'm going to get a babysitter. Let's go out tomorrow night. Let's go out Monday night. Just you and I, or Sunday night, or Friday night. Take care of getting a babysitter for the kids, and then 2 of you, just tell her, say, I want you to dress up, wear that fucking hot, sexy dress that I really love to see you in. It makes your body look amazing. And let's just go out. And, oh, we've already, like, I don't know. Let's just go out and have fun. Let's forget about everything else. You want to still go forward with the divorce, great. But I want to go out and have some fun with you because we need to get back to having fun together, and we haven't done that for a long time. And I apologize for not being the husband that I need to be. I stopped romancing you. I stopped dating you, and that's my fuck up. And I'm sorry. You deserve better. But I'm willing to make the effort. And it's like, but it's only going to work if you're going to try. So do you want to have dinner with me on such night, whatever it happens to be? And then say, great. I'll take care of everything. I'll take care of getting a babysitter. It's just, you just show up, look fucking hot, and we're going to go out and have a good time. And then plan something where the 2 of you go out and do something. Maybe go to dinner. Make sure she's doing 78% of talking. And you need to get your wife to do a lot of that. Don't you ever fucking argue with her again. Get my book. Download the Kindle version. You can download it to any electronic device you want to read it on with one of their free e-reader apps. And I also did a video called How to Communicate with Women Effectively. You need to watch that. So if you Google Corey Wayne How to Communicate with Women Effectively, watch that. I mean, this is your marriage. This is the woman. This is the mother of your children, dude. It's like, don't you want to save your marriage? I'd also recommend that you book a paid phone coaching session with me by clicking the products tab at the top of your screen on any page of my website and book a phone session. He says, I'm just not sure what a person should do to stay distant or be there when she needs me. Then I don't know if she's playing with me and I keep giving her money because she is a stay-at-home mom. The situation is really fucked. It can work out, and I'm not sure the best way to go about living in the same house. She's been pulling the friendship card. If you have had your dick in someone for 11 years, it's hard to do the friendship thing. It's a messed up situation. That's why you have to be clear in your intent. Baby, I love you, but I'm not interested in being your emotional tampon or your gay male girlfriend or your therapist. I love you. You're my wife. You're my fucking queen. You're my goddess. Let's go out and have some fun together. Let's start with that. And start dating her again, dude. Like once a week, get a babysitter. You take care of all the details and go do something that the two of you can have a great time. You can have a lot of laughs together, have some fun. And when she starts playing with her hair, pull her in, kiss her, make love to her, and start rekindling your romance that way. I mean, the therapist would be great because she can help, or he or she can help you talk about your problems and work through them. But you can't fucking argue with her. If you argue with her, it means you don't understand women. If you keep doing that, I promise you, you'll end up getting a divorce. But you got to get back to having fun and dating her, and just like you did when you got her to fall in love with you in the first place. And that's something that never will end in the relationship. You can't get lazy and complacent, again, if you want to save this marriage. So if you'd like to book a paid phone session with me, again, go to my website, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and follow the instructions. And I will talk to you soon.